per minute. And your respiratory rate for 1 minute is 12 to 18. And sometimes it will range up to 20. Okay, so temperature is ranging, normal value is 36.5 to 37.3 or 97.8 degrees Fahrenheit to 99.1 degrees Fahrenheit. So these figures represent the standards, no, for healthy individual or healthy patient at rest, no, with slight variation depending on age, health, and activity, no, levels. So the key adult vital signs ranging, no, resting, as I said, 90 to 1 to over 60 to 120 over 80 millimeter mercury. So if there is an elevation, it will range to 120 to 129 systolic over less than 80 diastolic. So if your patient is stage 1 hypertension, you will range the blood pressure from 130 to 139 systolic over 80 to 89 diastolic. That is stage 1 hypertension. The heart rate or pulse is 60 to 100 per beats per minute. The respiratory, as I said a while ago, is 12 to 18 breaths per minute, sometimes up to 20. So that is considered normal, no? And then for the temperature, 36.5 to 37.3 degrees Celsius. For the oxygen saturation or the SpO2, ranging the normal values is 95 to 100%. Okay, so there are factors affecting vital signs. First is the heart rate. Okay? So yung heart rate and respiratory rates are generally higher in children and infants, no? So tingnan niyo yung mga normal values ninyo, yung mga kopya ninyo. Alam ko meron kayong mga normal values na nandiyan sa inyong mga notes o notebook, no, as your guide in your 1 year, naka 1 year duty na kayo. So alam ninyo o makumpara na ninyo that the body temperature and heart rate and the respiratory rate in the younger children and infant are higher. Okay, then the sex, especially if the person is in activity like exercises, it also rises the pulse and respiration. For the female, especially 12 years old above, often have higher heart rates than males. The body temperature, like the method of oral axilla, no, your armpit, your tympanic, the ear, and the rectal measurement varies slightly. So like for example, the rectal, no, route are generally 1 degree Fahrenheit higher than the other route, no, of taking body temperature. Okay, so there are four physical assessment technique, no, as shown in the slides. No, you have your inspection, palpation, percussion, and auscultation or yung IPPA. So these are the fundamental skills, no, gathered objective data during health assessment. No, if you want to gather some information or data from your patient, you use these four techniques in doing physical assessment. So performing them systematically ensures a thorough examination. So in IPPA sequence, general, you start with inspection, no, the look. And then palpation, you are going to feel. Next is percussion, you are tapping, no, the area. And then auscultation, listening. So except for the abdominal assessment, the order is or are inspection, followed by auscultation, percussion, then last is palpation to avoid altering the bowel sounds. Okay, so what are you going to do in inspection? So inspection is visual observation. You are going to use your sense of sight. So what to look? So you are going to look for the color, the shape, the symmetry, the size, posture, movement, and any abnormal findings. Like for example, you are going to observe if the patient has rashes or swelling or any lesions. Then tips in doing inspection, you have to use good lighting, no, preferably natural light. Then use a pen light for specific areas like observing the mouth or throat. No, so you observe before touching. So you have a general observation from head to toe assessment first before you touch the patient. Okay, next is your palpation. So in palpation, using the sense of touch, uses your hands to feel, no, for surface characteristics, tenderness or masses. So there are techniques no use in palpation. There are types of palpation, the light palpation, the deep palpation. So in light palpation, there is a depression of the abdomen, 1 to 2 centimeter. So you are going to assess the skin texture, location, and deep masses. In deep palpation, there is a depression of the abdomen about 4 to 5 centimeter. In here, you are going to assess organ size, location, and deep masses. Okay. So doon sa light palpation, texture, skin texture, temperature, moisture, and surface tenderness. So tips in doing palpation, first, you have to warm your hands. Okay, warm your hands first and then palpate tender areas last, no, to avoid pain that makes the rest of your examination difficult. Okay? So in percussion is tapping for sounds, no? So you will tap to hear the sounds. Okay? So tapping on the body creates vibrations that helps determine if the underlying tissues are filled with air or filled with fluid or solid. Okay, so there are also types of percussions. So what are the types of percussion? We have the direct or indirect. So indirect percussion, you are tapping directly, no, on the body surface. While indirect, you are placing one hand, yung pleximeter, on the surface and striking it with the other hand, the flexor. Okay, so what are the sounds that you can hear during percussion? So you can hear tympanic sound, resonance, or dullness. So ano ba yung sound ng tympani o tympanic sound? You can hear loud, high pitch, like for example, if you are percussing over the stomach bubble. Okay? So resonance, you can hear loud also but low pitch, especially in healthy lung tissue. Okay, dullness, you can hear soft, tad-like. So example, you are percussing over solid organs like liver or a tumor. So ito yung mga types of sounds that you can hear during percussion. So auscultation is listening. So sa percussion, you are tapping the sounds. In auscultation, you are listening now the sounds. So using the stethoscope, you are going to listen to internal body sounds. So what to listen? Your heart rhythm, lung sounds, and bowel sounds, no? Your peristalsis sounds. Okay, so you are going to uh, use this sense of listening. Okay, yung sense of sa ear natin to listen. So tips in doing percussion, you have to use the diaphragm of the stethoscope. Okay, alam nyo na yung diaphragm. You identify diaphragm and bell. So in here, you are going to use the diaphragm for pitch sounds, like listening to the lungs, the heart, and bowel. And the bell is for low pitch sound, like murmurs or broods. No, in the abdomen, you are going to listen for a full minute. No, listen for about 1 full minute to determine if the vowel sounds are truly absent. No, if there is a complaint that there is no vowel sounds. Okay, so how to standardize the height and weight? So the height and weight ensures clinical accuracy when tracking nutritional status and fluid balance. So there are minor measurement errors that can lead to incorrect medication dosing, malnutrition diagnosis, or sometimes overlook fluid retention. So in height and weight measurement, first, we have to prepare and calibrate the weighing scale. No? So you start from zero to make the scale zero muna. So balance standing or bed scales, no, to zero before every measurement. So consistent timing also. When weighing a patient, you should weigh patient at the same time each day. So ideally, first thing in the morning. So the order usually kapag nagwe-weigh tayo daily of our patient is before breakfast. Okay? And then you have to empty the bladder. So encourage the patient to void before weighing to isolate through tissue and fluid mass. And then consistent clothing also. You have to ensure that the patient wears similar lightweight clothing or a standard hospital gown each time you are going to weigh the patient. And then remove attachment. No? So empty heavy items from pockets, disconnect or account for heavy equipment if possible, no? Pagka hindi naman masyadong hirap ang pasyente kapag i-disconnect natin sa mga aparatus, so you have to be vigilant also, no? Assess the condition of your patient if the patient is able, no, without the apparatus. And then weight measurement. So in standing scales, the digital or beam balance, the patient position. So you have to let the patient stand fully erect in the center of the platform. So weight distribution is very important. You have to distribute weight evenly across both feet without leaning on the walls or rails. So alam niyo na to kasi nagjo-duty na kayo. No, alam ko na experience niyo na yung weighing of your patient, no? But then i-recall natin. So makalaking bagay na yung 1 year na exposure niyo sa duty. Makakatulong na yan dito sa battery exam ninyo, yung experience ninyo sa hospital duty. Okay, so arm placement. Keep arms hanging loosely at the side. Do not hold onto the scale mechanism. Okay, yung bed or sling scales. So you have to immobilize patient kapag ganitong klaseng weighing scale. So again, i-zero din yung equipment, zero the scale with all necessary linens, pillows. Siyempre tatanggalin natin lahat yon kasi additional weight yon para sa pasyente, no? Before natin i-weigh ang patient. And then clearing obstructions. So we have to ensure the bed or sling hangs completely free from walls, cord, or adjacent furniture during the read. Then consistent items. So maintain the exact time number of pillows or sheet for subsequent weight para alam natin or timbangin natin kung hindi man maiwasan na nandoon ang mga pillows, blanket, or anything no with the patient para ima-minus din natin no, like for example mga baby natin na hindi kaya umiiyak pagpatayuin natin sa weighing scale. So ang gagawin natin, ipakarga natin si baby sa nanay and then minus the weight of the nanay to get the accurate weight of the child. Okay? So ganun lang ang strategy natin. So how to standardize height measurement? So using the standing stadiometer, pag dito naman, stadiometer naman yung weighing scale natin, you have to mobile patient. So, stand, no? Let your patient stand barefooted with heels together, flat on the floor. Then align. You have to ensure the heels and buttocks, upper back and back of the head touch the vertical measurement board. And then Frankfurt plane. So you have to align your patient's head so an imaginary line from the lower orbit of the eye to the upper margin of the ear canal. Okay, so horizontal. So in measurement, lower the headboard flat. Alam nyo na to yung tinataas, binababa according to the height of the patient against the crown of the head. Then you have to read at eye level. Okay? So next is infection control and patient safety. So to have effective infection control and patient safety, these are achieved by consistently applying standard precautions. No? So primarily, strict hand hygiene. So appropriate personal protective equipment, no, the PPE, and the safe handling of sharps and waste. These practices combine with environment cleaning and transmission-based precaution, no, yung isolation precaution natin for specific illnesses and prevent healthcare associated infections. So there are key components of infection control and patient safety. So first is the hand hygiene. This is the action. Number one action. So you have to perform hand hygiene with soap and water or alcohol-based sanitizer before and after every patient contact or after touching contaminated items and after removing gloves. Okay, so wearing of the personal protective equipment or your PPE. So wear gloves, gowns, masks, and eye protection if there is a need to wear goggles, no, based on the anticipated exposure to blood or bodily or infectious materials or bodily fluid or infectious materials. So you have to wear a complete gear, no, of PPE. Okay? Then standard precaution. Apply this all to patients at all times. So if you are exposed to a patient, make a habit to consider all patient contagious, no? So in this kind of precaution, infection control precaution, so apply this principle to all patient at all time regardless of diagnosis. So this includes safe handling of textiles, proper waste disposal, and respiratory hygiene, no, including cough etiquette, no? So you have to cover your mouth or wear your mask, no, whenever you have cough or if you want to cough. Then transmission-based precaution, no, to implement extra measures for infected patients, no. For example, you will be in contact with patient having MRSA. So you have to wear your gowns and gloves. Droplet for patient with influenza. So you have to wear mask within 3 to 6 feet, no, away from the patient. And then airborne. So airborne natin are, for example, TB patient, COVID-19 patient, you have to wear N95 respirator. Okay? So environmental cleaning. Frequently, you have to disinfect no high-touch surfaces. So shared equipment also like BP apparatus, thermometers, no, and pulse oximeters. So you have to ensure proper sterilization of instruments. Okay. So safe injection practices. Use sterile equipment and dispose of needles or sharps immediately in punctured resistant containers to avoid needle injuries. Okay. So what are the patient's education in this kind of precaution? We have to educate patient and families on hand hygiene, cough etiquette, and infection symptoms. So in patient safety principles, we usually practice aseptic technique. Okay, so aseptic technique use no-touch technique for procedures like inserting catheter or dressing wounds. No, this kind of procedure is usually applied aseptic technique. So reducing risk, limit patient transport, use disposable equipment when possible, and ensure proper sterilization. So for staff safety, you should adhere to, so tayo, mga staff, mga member of the healthcare provider should adhere to the immunizations and follow local protocols for exposure. Like for example, needle sticks, no? So we have to be careful um when in contact with body fluids or blood from the patient. Okay. So next is basic bedside care, the ADLs. Okay. So basic bedside care often referred to as the basic activities of daily living. Okay, or physical ADLs, no? Which consists of fundamental self-care tasks that individual typically perform daily to maintain their bodily health, mobility, and dignity. Okay, so these tasks are crucial for assessing a person level independence and their need for assistance, particularly for the elderly, the injured person, or the critically ill patient. Okay, so there are six primarily basic ADLs, includes bathing, washing. So in bathing or washing, we have to observe no their ability to clean one's body, including showering, taking a bath, or washing, brushing, and grooming. Siguro familiar kayo dito o nare-recall ninyo na yung topic natin sa health assessment, yung Katz and Bartel natin. So this is the Katz and Bartel. Okay? So dressing, the ability to select appropriate clothes, put them on, and manage the personal appearance such as fastening clothes or putting on prosthetic limbs. Okay? So toileting also, or continence, no? Ability to get on or off the toilet, use the appropriate clean oneself, and manage bowel and bladder control. So transferring also or mobility, the ability to move around independently, such as moving from bed to a chair or walking safely. So feeding or eating, the patient has the ability to get food from a plate to the mouth, does not usually include food, no, preparation. So for example of basic bedside care assistant, the caregiver or nurses often provide assistance with these tasks, no? Particularly in the PM shift care, which may include helping with partial or full bath or shower, no? If the patient wants or requests to have shower at afternoon or nighttime. Providing oral care, denture care, or brushing hair. No, changing into pajamas or gown, assisting with transfer no into bed. Okay, so there are difference no between ADLs and IADLs, no? So it is very important to differentiate the basic ADLs. Yung basic ADLs is self-care, no? The IADLs or the instrumental activities of daily living which are more complex, no? Required more living independently in the community such as managing finances, cooking, shopping, and managing to take the medication. Okay. So reviewing comfort and mobility, especially positioning. So this is found in here. So especially positioning and transfer requires focus on safety. So proper body mechanics and patient-centered care to minimize risk for pressure injury, falls, and there are also key areas to assess include the capability, environmental safety, and the use of a device. Okay? So in positioning for comfort and safety, the aims here is to maintain alignment, promote comfort, and prevent skin breakdown. Okay? So the body alignment ensure the spine is straight and parallel to the side of the bed with the patient in the middle to prevent falling, or there is a support, no? Support prominences. Usually use of pillows to protect heel, ankles, knees, and elbows from resting directly on each other. So the head and neck, keep the head with the spine rather than tilted forward. No, the back or to the side of the body. So the common positions to review are supine, no, yung lying back, lying on his back, use pillows under calves or heels and under the knees for back comfort. The lateral side lying position, you have to place pillow behind the back and between the knees or ankle to prevent pressures. Okay, the Fowler's or seated or sitting position, elevated the head of the bed at least 45 to 60-degree angle to assist with breathing and comfort. So the frequency, no, how often do you reposition the patient? So you are going to reposition the patient at least every 2 hours, no, to avoid ulcers. Okay? So in transfer techniques for mobility, safe transfer, no, utilize proper mechanics, no, to protect both the caregiver and the patient. So the initial assessment, you have to check, no, patient weight bearing ability. So cognitive status and strength. Then in preparation before the transfer, you have to lock all breakers on beds and wheelchair. No, then place the wheelchair on the patient's strong side. Then, if there is a need to wear gate or belt gate, always use a transfer belt, no, for control and support. So, moving mechanism like dangling. Let your patient sit on the edge of the bed for a moment to prevent dizziness. Okay? So, wag agad-agad na patayuin, palakarin si patient. Dangle muna. And then pivot, transfer. So, you have to position your knees against the patient knees and then keep your back straight and pivot. Do not twist. Okay? Use strong side, no, leading. Encourage the patient to lead with the stronger side. Then patient assistant. You have to encourage your patient independence, no, by letting them assist, no, as they are able, such as pushing up from the bed or chair. So what are the keys to review or points to review in here? skin condition. So you have to monitor, no, the bony prominences during repositioning, no, the heels and the sacrum. No, ito yung mga prominent, bone prominent. No, kapag hindi natin sila i-turn every 2 hours, there is a possibility to develop bed sores. Okay, respiratory status, check for breathing difficulty when shifting position. Pain levels, no, check for pain during movement. Body mechanics, you have to ensure as caregiver by using a wide stand, no? Body mechanics tayo, bending knees and keeping the patient close to you. Okay. So next is, let's proceed now to, okay, so going back to the consideration, no, in comfort and mobility, we have spatial considerations. No, like for example, in patient with stroke or has weaknesses, you have to support, no, the affected site carefully during transfer. No, yung patient with dementia, so frequent transfers with lift can be distressing, no? So you have to consider in situ slings, so which can stay in place. So this is also to reduce handling, no? Yung hip precaution, so we have to avoid crossing legs, bending the hip more than 90-degree angle or twisting. Okay, so we have to take note of that in order to avoid stress for our patient. Okay, next is level rapid fire quiz na tayo. So dito, question and answer muna tayo. Okay, so this time I need your participation. So question number 1, what is the first step before performing any nursing procedure? Anybody who can answer? Yes.
Wash hands po ba?
Yes, it can be hand hygiene or hand washing. What else? Before performing any procedure, aside from hand hygiene, hand washing, ano pa? Yes, Paul. Yes? Who is raising their hand? What else do you think is a need to perform before doing any nursing procedure? Aside from hand hygiene or hand washing, you have to have patient identification first, okay? So these are the two things, no? Hand hygiene and patient identification will be done before you are going to do any nursing procedure. Next, when measuring a manual BP, how fast should you deflate the cuff? Anybody? How many seconds would you deflate the cuff? Yes, Matt.
2 to 4 mmHg per second po.
Lumampas ka lang ng isa. 2 to 3 millimeter per seconds. O pwede accepted na siguro yung 2 to 4, pero ideally 2 to 3 no, millimeter per seconds. Okay, number 3 questions. Which position is best for a patient who is having difficulty breathing? What position are you going to position? In how many angles? Anybody? Yes? Sige, dalawa ang nakita ko nag-raise. Anybody can answer.
High Fowler's position po.
Again, you're choppy.
High Fowler's position po.
High Fowler's position, how many degree angle?
60 to 90 po.
60 to 90 degree angle. Correct. Okay, number 4. In what order do you remove PPE, doffing? No, including kapag kasama yung goggles. So ano ang order? Ano ang unahin ninyong tanggalin? Yung principle natin na last in, first out. No, you have to remove first, yes. Kas?
Gloves.
O gloves muna, followed by goggles. After the goggles, yes,
Gown po.
gown. Yes, correct. So gloves, goggles, gown, and the mask. Okay, so yung principle, do not forget the principle in removing. No, we are going to remove from cleanest to dirtiest. No, PPE. Okay, number 5. What is asepsis? O, sana na-recall nyo naman. What is asepsis? Anybody? O, 150 tayo na nang dito ngayon. Walang nakaka-recall? Yes. Luis?
Absence of infection po.
Absence of
Infection.
infections or disease-producing microorganisms. Okay? Very good. Okay, next. Dito na tayo next. When assessing a patient, okay, igalaw ko lang to konti kasi hindi ko mababasa. When assessing a patient for a pulse deficit, what is the correct technique? So among these choices, measure a radial pulse, wait 1 minute, then measure the apical pulse. 2 nurses measure the apical and radial pulse simultaneously for 60 seconds, or subtract the diastolic blood pressure from the systolic blood pressure, or measure the carotid pulse while listening to the heart sounds. What do you think is the answer? Yes, Denise.
Letter A po, ma'am.
Letter A, assessing the pulse deficit. So ano ba doon ang pulse deficit? You will compare the radial and the apical pulse. So it should be 2 nurses. Letter B. 2 nurses will measure. Wait lang. Sandali lang. Okay. So there should be 2 nurses simultaneously take the apical and the radial pulse. No, you are going to compare the 2 radial and apical pulse. No, you are going to minus the apical and radial for pulse deficit. Okay. Next. Okay, next questions. Wait for a while. Okay, so which action by nursing student indicates a need for further teaching during medication preparation? So among the 4 choices, what do you think is there is a need for you to further learning? Sino na? Yes, Marsa. Ay, anong pangalan nito? Go ahead.
Letter C po.
Marvin. Letter?
C po. Yung, kasi hindi po dapat kinakrush
Yes,
yung
that is
sustained release
correct.
tablet.
Letter C. Crushing is sustained release tablet to a patient and then let the patient swallow or help the patient swallow. That is the correct answer. Okay. Next question. Okay, in clinical and lab review question, a nurse is preparing for an intramuscular or IM injection to an adult. At what angle should the needle be inserted? So pag IM, ilang angle ang i-position ninyo sa syringe o needle? Ilang angle? Yung iba, natutulog lang siguro. O, ano na? Sige, Cas.
Letter C po.
Okay, letter C. Pag intramuscular, you should position the needle into 90-degree angle. Okay, so next, before administering a tube feeding via a nasogastric tube, what is the priority, no, for a nurse or actions to ensure safety? Cristel? Divine?
Letter B po.
Okay, correct. Letter B. Verify tube placement by checking the pH or gastric aspirate. Okay. Next, checking which finding during physical assessment would a nurse document, no, as takipnya. So among these choices, what do you think is the appropriate description that the patient is in takipnya? Uy, other person? Yes, Dan. Dan lang ang nababasa ko. Go ahead.
Letter C po, ma'am. A
Letter
respiratory
C.
rate of
Yes,
28 breaths.
correct. No, respiratory rate of 28 breaths per minute. Okay, next. No, dito tayo sa practice tip. The why matters. As level 2 students, no, you aren't just learning how to do a skills, but why do we do it a certain way? For example, asepsis, why do we clean a wound? Why do you think we are going to clean a wound from the center outward? It is because to remove debris away from the cleanest area to the dirtiest. Now, in body mechanics, why do we keep our feet shoulder width apart? This is to provide a broad base of support and prevent injuries. Okay. So next question. Okay. So in here, intake and output. Sige, let's see if you still remember. So, accurate INO is vital monitoring for fluid and electrolyte balance. So in scenario 1, the lunch tray. A patient consume 4 ounces of apple. You compute this, guys. 4 ounces of apple juice, 1 cup of coffee, 6 ounces of broth, 1 cup of ice chip, half of 10 ounce gelatin. So what is the total intake in ml? Sige, let's try if you still remember your conversion. Sige. Sige, who's raising their hand? Nihay?
Hello po, ma'am. Neil po, ma'am.
Neil. Okay,
Neil,
sorry.
okay, sorry.
Kasi kalahati lang yung nababasa ko dito sa screen.
240
Okay,
ml.
go ahead, Neil.
Neil.
240 ml po, ma'am.
Overall, input and output. Sige, yung total. So conversion tayo. So how many ml is 1 ounce?
30 ml po.
Okay, 30.
Okay, 30.
4 ounce.
4 ounce.
120.
120.
Okay. So how many ml is 1 cup of coffee? How many ml? Ang isang cup. Ang isang cup is considered, or the 1 cup of coffee is 240. No, yung cup natin is just equivalent to 1 glass of water. Okay? And then yung broth natin na 6 ounces, how many? If there are 30 ml of 1 ounce? Yes, Sosa?
180 po.
180. Okay. What about the 1 cup of iced tea o ice chips? So kapag mayroon na tayong ice involved dito, kung ang 1 cup is 240, pag yellow, no? Yellow ang pinag-uusapan natin, ang bibilangin lang nating water content dito is half of that. So kapag pag 1 cup of gelatin, mamimelt pa kasi yan, so half lang ang bibilangin ninyo. So for example, yung 1 cup na yun is 240, i-divide nyo lang sila sa 2 para makuha nyo lang yung kalahati ng content nito. Kasi gelatin lang siya, matutunaw, madidissolve pa lang siya. Okay, yes, Sosa?
120 po, ma'am.
Okay, 120 ml. So what about what is the total intake now? So if you are 4 ounces of apple juice, yes, John?
If i-add po natin silang lahat with a half ounce of gelatin po ba? Opo, gelatin.
Oh,
po.
yes. So how many all in all?
Total po is 810 milliliters.
Yes, that is correct. 810 ml. Okay. So next tayo. Okay, scenario 2, monitoring output, post-op. Patient has 500 ml of urine in the Foley catheter or Foley bag or urine bag, 50 ml of emesis or vomitus, 30 ml of drainage in the Jackson Pratt valve, with a continuous bladder irrigation of 1,000 ml was infused. The total fluid in the drainage bag is 1,800 ml. So what is the actual urine output? Anybody? Yes, John.
800 po.
What is the 800? Nagkulang siguro tayo. What is the actual output? Pag actual urine output lang, how many? So we have 500 in the urine bag plus the drainage bag. So ilan yon? Jan?
Ano po, di ba po kasi may na-minus po yung sa irrigation ng 1,000. So 800
Yes.
po.
Hindi natin
Plus
ibibilangin. Tama ka dyan.
Opo.
Hindi bibilangin yung irrigation. So minus tayo ng 1,000. So ilan na lang?
So may 800 na po tayo. Plus po yung emesis and drainage po na 50 and 30. So total po 880 po.
Okay, that is the total output that we have in this scenario or situation. That is correct. The total output is 880 ml. Okay, so that's very good. So tama yon. Sa continuous bladder irrigation na 1,000, hindi nyo siya isasama doon sa total output ng patient. No, ima-minus natin ito. So ang total lang dito sa irrigation na to is 800 lang siya dito. Okay, next. So sterile technique review. Sterile technique, surgical asepsis, prevent the introduction of microorganism. Question. A nurse is setting up a sterile field. So which action would cause the field to be considered contaminated? So look at the 4 choices. So what do you think makes the field unsterile? Yes, Red.
C po, ma'am.
Letter C, that's correct. Now, turning their back to the sterile field and grab. Ito yung nakapag-unsterile. Grab a trash can. That's correct, Red. Okay, next. Okay. When pouring a sterile solution into a basin, hindi ko mabasa ang continuation, natakpan. No, into a basin on a sterile field, the nurse should. So ano dapat ang gagawin ng nurse dito sa 4 choices na to? Try to analyze. Yes, Sosa.
A po.
A. No. Sige. Go ahead. Yung nag-raise. Si ano man si Tolentino ba? Anong pangalan nito? Kalahati lang kasi nakikita ko.
Letter B po, ma'am.
Letter
B.
B, boy. Tama?
Yes po.
Okay, that's correct, no? So you have to lift the bottle, no? Ibig sabihin, mag-pour ka muna ng small amount of solution into the trash can para malinis yung bottle opening. Okay. Kasi sterile field na tayo eh. Wala naman tayong, hindi naman tayo pwedeng humawak ng other thing. Otherwise, ma-unsterile na din kayo. Okay. So, rapid fire concept check tayo. Insensible loss. No? This includes fluid loss via skin. No, skin, lungs, and lungs. So it is not typically included in the measurement. So what are the examples of insensible loss? Yung perspiration, no? We cannot measure the perspiration not unless persistent, no? Yung severe perspiration na mapipiga mo na yung damit nyo, yung napipiga, yun yung pwede ninyong i-measure. Pero other than that, yung nasa skin lang, we cannot measure that. So that is not included in your output. No? Then take note that 1 inch border, no, the outer inch or the 12 or the 2.5 centimeter edge of a sterile drape is considered contaminated. Okay? Then for fluid balance, if intake is significantly higher than output, so you have to monitor the fluid volume overload. Because in intake and output, it should be balanced, no? Yung intake is equal to the output. So you have to observe kapag merong fluid deficit o overload, you have to reassess and check your patient. Like for example, if there is crackles in the lungs or edema. So edema indicates that there is water excess or water retention in the body. Okay. So let's proceed now to medication dosage calculation. So level 2, you are required to mastery, no, of the desired over half formula. Okay, so let's see. Let's check if you remember or na-retain ba yung mga natutunan niyo sa duty kasi doon nagbibigay na kayo ng medication. So, I'm sure pinapakompute na kayo ng CI ninyo before you are giving the oral medication kasi allowed tayo to give oral medication. So, let's check. Okay, medication dosage calculation. Level 2 requires mastery, so you have to practice this. Oral medication. The order is digoxin 0.25 milligram orem per orem daily. The available is digoxin 125 micrograin per tablet. So how many tablets will the nurse or will you give? Sige, try. So yung desired natin is 0.25 milligram. Pero yung stock natin is 125 microgram. So first, you have to convert milligram to microgram. Yes.
Ma'am, 2 po.
2 tabs. Sige, how did you get the 2 tabs? That's correct.
Ano po, ma'am? Ano po yung 0.25 milligrams times 1,000 po? Kasi 1 mg is equal to 1,000 micromilligram.
Okay, so you convert the milligram to microgram to be equal in the unit of measurement first.
Apa.
Okay, that's correct. 2 tabs. You are going to give to the patients 2 tablets. Okay. Next. Okay, the order is amoxicillin 500 milligram per orem. The available is amoxicillin suspension 2 milligram per 5 ml. How many ml should you prepare? Using the same formula. Anybody? Yes, Archie. Archie ba?
Opo. 10 ml po, ma'am.
Yes, correct. 10 ml. Desired is 500 over 250 times 5 ml. That's correct. You are going to give 10 ml to your patient. Next, patient positioning for procedures. Proper positioning ensures patient safety, comfort, and optimal access for the procedure. Scenario 1, enema administration. So which position is most appropriate for patient who is receiving a cleansing enema? Yes, Sophia?
Letter C po, left sims or semi-prone.
Yes, that's correct. Left seams or semi-prone. Left seams or seams positions, no, the left with the right knee flex allows the solution to flow by gravity into the sigmoid colon and rectum. Okay, that's correct. Scenario 2, NG tube insertion and feeding. To prevent aspiration during enteral feeding, what is the minimum elevation for the head of the bed? Anyone? Meron na bang nakapag-analyze? Who's raising? Sophia?
Is it letter B po, 30 to 45?
Yes, that's correct. Letter B, 30 to 45 degree angle. Okay, degrees angle. Okay, scenario 3, dyspnea, shortness of breath. A patient is experiencing acute respiratory distress. What position should the patient prioritize? Yes. Sino to? Mar? What is your answer?
High Fowlers po ba?
High
Letter C po.
Fowlers? No. Meron ba tayong high Fowlers? Pwedeng,
Meron po.
yes, that's correct. No, letter C. Semi-Fowlers o high Fowlers position is necessary during or in this kind of condition, no? Dyspnea, shortness of breath for the lungs to expand. Okay, next. Rapid fire concept check tayo. Conversion, 1 gram is 1,000 milligram. 1 milligram is 1,000 microgram. Lithotomy position used for gynecological, rectal, urologic procedure, no? Pero yung fit is in the stirrups. Trendelenburg, head of the bed lower than the feet. So this position is used for emergencies like shock or hypotension. Okay. So let's proceed to IV flow rate calculation. So calculating ml per hour or infusion pump. The doctor orders 1,000 ml for 8 hours, ml of normal saline to be infused over 8 hours. So what rate do you set on the infusion pump? Sige, try to compute. First, you are going to compute for the cc per hour o ml per hour. So ano ang ml per hour natin? If the order is 1,000 of normal saline times 8 hours. Computing. Meron na ba naka-compute? Sige, sino nang sasagot? Sosa?
Ma'am, 125.
Okay, so sa cc per hour, that's correct, 125 cc per hour. What about how many drops you are going to regulate or set in the infusion pump or regulate in the IV tubing? Marvic. Do you have your answer? Pag 125 cc per hour, how many drops per minute? Yes. Ada? Anong Ada?
Ma'am, 42 po.
Okay, so to round off is 42. So it ranges from 41 to 42 drops per minute. Okay, that's correct. Okay, let's proceed to the next. Okay, which of the following is the most legal way to correct a mistake in the paper chart? So among the choices, yes, Mia.
Letter C po, ma'am.
Yes, that's correct. Letter C, draw a single line and then through the error, then write error and sign. Okay, that's correct. No, for the documentation. Pag meron kayong mga errors, hindi basta burahin ng basta bura-bura lang. Just draw a one line and then sign. Okay? So which entry is documented correctly among the choices below? Which do you think is the entry? Yes, done.
Letter C po.
Letter C, patient states, my stomach feels like it's burning. My abdomen is firm to touch. That's correct. Okay, so very good. Okay, thank you. That's all for my review tonight. So I only, during the talk,